is it so light up there like that? Lord. Mm. All right. So I've gotten a lot of people that like the um lesson that I taught on Oba Nana. And so I thought that I would extend it out. Hey, darling. I thought that I was extend it out and talk about it more and kind of give you some context on it. And because I wanted to help you and I wanted to take it even further. Um, a lot of people be always asking me about this tattoo. This is a death card. But anyway, um, oh, you're welcome. A lot of people ask me about that, and because a lot of people don't really talk about Oba Nana, and I don't claim to know everything about her. But the only reason why I know about her as much as I do know is because I am crowned Shango's daughter. And so I have to know some things, I guess. And she's not really talked about a lot. But she's in all of us who go through stuff like this. And so when a young lady in my infinite energy group asked me about her, I was like, oh, no one ever asks about her. And so I decided I would do like a small video or teaching. Um, so some of you are not heartbroken because you've lost a person or a friend or a family member or a husband or a wife. You're heartbroken really because you've lost yourself trying to give to them. And that's why Oba Nana is so important to know about her. So I'm going to teach you about a very powerful Orisha. Her name was Oba Nana, and it's Obbana. And this is not the soft version. This isn't the storybook version. Hey, everybody. This is a real lesson because her story is not just history, it's behavior, right? And so Oba Nana, she comes from the Yoruba tradition. She is a river. She is a wife. And she is a mirror. And she was married to Shango alongside of Oshun. Everybody knows about Oshun, but they don't understand the different versions of her. Everybody just think that she's just honey and um feathers, and she's just melons and honey and sweet, and everybody think that, and it's not true. And so right there, thank you. Right there is where attention kind of begins because you have devotion, you have desire, and you have comparison, which is what we typically do, all in the same space. So again, this was like a polyamorous situation. So keep that in mind too. And so I don't know where y'all want me to start. Do y'all want to hear the story first? Yeah, I'll just tell the story. So Oba loved Shango deeply. Actually, Oba loved, thank you, Tanya. Oba loved very deeply. And it was the kind of love where you're willing to do anything to be chosen. And so one day she went to Oshun and asked her, how do I keep him? Well, girl, that's your first mistake because you never asked another bitch how to keep a nigga that was yours in the first place. Like, don't ever do that. But that's the comparison shit that we really do. That's the comparison stuff that we do because we think because now he's chosen another person. And this is not against nobody that's crowned Oshun. This is not against nobody that's their mother, that's their crown. Like, that's not against none of that. Hello. It's not against none of that. Okay. I'm just saying. So Oba Nana loved so deeply. She didn't love halfway. She didn't love cautiously. She loved with her whole heart, her whole being. And she was the wife of Shango. And Shango is my crowned father. Now, he is a king. He is a force. He's a man who commanded attention without asking for it. And like many women who stand beside power, she wanted to be chosen, not just present, right? But Shango, if I tell stories about Shango, Shango wasn't a nice person either. Shango made his brothers fight each other to death. But anyway, let's go back to Oba Nana. So Oba was not the only one. Again, there was Oshun. And so Oshun was soft, right? Where Oba or Abba was structured. And she was sweet, where Oba was steady. So there was no comparison, right? Oshun was strategic, but Oba was sincere. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the donations. Thank you so much. Many blessings to you. May it return tenfold. Thank you. I'm just sharing a story, right? Um, the story in the lesson. So Oshun was very strategic in how she moved. And Oba was very sincere in how she moved. And Oba could feel it. So Oba saw the difference, which you can see the difference in people and not want to emulate that. Like, she could feel the difference in how Shango responded. Shango responded to Oshun in a more feminine, masculine type of energy of way, not to take away from Oba, but she could feel the subtle shift. Like the kind you kind of speak on, but you know. So one day she's searching her way to be chosen and her way to be closer to Shango. She wanted to be favored. She wanted to be enough. So Oba went to Oshun. Now, she didn't go to Oshun as an enemy. She went as a woman asking another woman to woman. Like, don't ever do that. If you were in my shoes, would you have done the same thing too? Okay. Anyway, so Oba went to Oshun. Hey, Tasha. And she didn't go to be mean. She was like woman to woman, bitch. At any rate, I'm sure that's how Oshun felt. Like, girl, what the fuck you coming to me for? Because Oshun was a bitch too. She could stand on her own. Oba was a bitch as well, but she was trying to be like, I want to be in favor. I want him to look at me like he look at you. But y'all do know that different bitches bring out different things in different niggas. So you can have the same nigga, but he could be one way with her and he could be another way with you. But that doesn't take away from who you are. It's just that some women bring out a different thing in a man. But we are so ego driven and pride driven, and we gotta be the chosen. Oh, thank you, Jocelyn. Many blessings to you. Thank you, Ashe. Thank you. May it return 100-fold to you. So Oshun being the motherfucker she is, right? And y'all know if I do Bible stories, when I teach about Orisha stuff, if y'all want me to, I'll give y'all more Orisha stories if y'all like. But this how I'm gonna tell it. So I don't want no motherfucking Bible louds. I don't want no mambos. I don't want no motherfucking goons or what. I don't want nobody come to me telling me, you shut the fuck up. This is how I'm gonna tell it. So let me get back to it. So Oshun was kind of like, Oshun can be a fucking trickster spirit too. A lot of people don't get that, but she can be. Remember how she got Ogun out the motherfucking forest? Bitch gave her some of his honey and shit. I don't honey pot and rubbed it on his motherfucking lip. Anyway, I'll tell that story another time. So Oba went to Oshun as a woman. Woman. And so Oshun was like, girl, what the fuck this bitch want? Because you got the first wife and the second wife. So you're going to have a natural dynamic there. Just sit on there for a minute. So Oba gonna ask Oshun, how do I keep him? Don't y'all ever ask another bitch how you keep a fucking nigga. Do you not? White, black, Hispanic, because I'm not saying a nigga meaning he a black man. I'm saying he a man. And a nigga is a fool. You don't never ask. You don't never ask that. Do not ask that. Never ask that. Never ask another woman how to keep. Because that what you think they gonna tell you. That's just like when y'all be calling, when y'all call these women and shit, trying to check them about a nigga. What you think she gonna tell you? Never call another bitch about your nigga. That bitch don't need to be loyal to you, even if she your friend. That nigga you fucking is supposed to be loyal to you. And that's who the person that need to be answering to you, not another bitch. So Oshun probably smiled and she gave her an answer because Oshun was a motherfucker, right? So Oshun kind of like looked at her, gave her an answer, and she told Abba that Shango loved a certain kind of devotion and that he cherished a wife who would give herself literally. Oshun told her he loves when a woman put pieces of her ear in his food. Now fucking pause. Because where does this story shift from myth to mirror? Oba didn't even question it. Oba didn't even pause. She did not even ask herself, does this feel right to me? Look at the fucking source. Y'all be going to the wrong motherfuckers. Y'all go to the wrong goddamn people to ask about certain things. They not doing they shit right. They not living they shit right. They not. How do you expect them to be a force to help you hold your shit down? How y'all ask a bitch that ain't never kept a nigga? How y'all ask a bitch that was always a pick me? How y'all ask a bitch that's always been Barbara the Builder her whole motherfucking life, aka y'all mamas, and she's gonna tell you how to successfully. I digress. Let me get back on this. So Oba didn't question nothing. She didn't even pause. She didn't even ask herself, like, girl, get the fuck out of here. So all she heard was instruction. And she followed it from a bitch she really didn't even fucking know. Oshun seen Oba a mile away. People be seeing y'all coming. So they know just how much and what they could do to you, what they could tell you, how they could treat you. Y'all see the motherfucking sign on the wall and still bypass that bitch and do. So Oba didn't ask herself no goddamn questions, y'all. She just heard instruction. So she followed it. There I go getting being cold. So she followed it. She followed it on the cool. Hold on, y'all. I'm ordering groceries. What the message say? All right. So I really hate when motherfucking niggas is the ones that's getting my groceries because you ask for a motherfucking grapefruit and they'll bring you a motherfucking prune. I digress. Anyway, so She heard the instructions, so she followed it. And this the cold piece about this shit. She followed it out of love. She also followed it out of fear because she didn't want to lose him. And she followed it out of the need to be chosen. This my thing. On the cool, if a nigga chose another bitch when he had you already, please understand there was nothing more that you could have done in the first place to make him stay with you if that's not what he wanted to do. That ain't on you, sis. That's on him. So in that night, Oba prepared Shango's meal. I don't know what the meal was. Carefully, intentfully, and she cut off her own ear. Not pieces of it, actually, what Oshun said. Oshun said pieces. She cut off her whole motherfucking ear and placed it in the dish. That was her offering. That was her devotion. That was her mistake. So when Shango saw it, he didn't see love. He saw something he could not accept. Because remember, Shango likes perfection, or he loves perfection. So when he saw it, he didn't see love. He didn't see offering. He didn't see devotion. He saw her mistake. And he saw something that he could not accept. So he rejected her. He rejected the food. He rejected the offering. He rejected the devotion. He rejected her. And in that moment, Oba wasn't just heartbreaking or heartbroken. She was awakened in a way. Because now she had to face something deeper than rejection. Now she had to come with the terms that she had abandoned herself. So before anybody else had a chance to do that, so now she's projecting. I was projecting. So now before anybody else can say anything to Oba, she leaves. So she left. Not in chaos, not in rage, but in silence. And so she withdrew herself from the world that witnessed her loss, and she became a river. And see, a river and rivers, they don't chase. Rivers don't beg, they don't prove, they just flow in their own direction. So I don't tell this story to make you feel sad for her. I tell you this story so you can recognize yourself. Because some of you didn't cut off your own ear, but you changed who you were. You lowered your standards. You stayed where you were not celebrated. You stayed where you were not honored. You gave way more than you had, trying to be chosen, trying to be seen. And just like Oba, in that moment, you realize, or you should, hey, darling, I will never do that to myself again. Because the truth that she should leave you with is that Oba Nana is not the woman who was rejected. She was the woman who learned herself through the rejection and became something that nobody could ever control again. That's one of her stories. That's how she became the river. See, Oba Nana comes from the Yoruba people of Nigeria, specifically within the tradition system known as the Yoruba tradition, right? Or religion. She's connected to the Oba River, OBA River. Sometimes it's spelled OBA, which flows through the Yoruba land. So the river is not just water, it's her physical manifestation on the earth. See, Yoruba, Orishas are not made up beings. They are forces of nature. They're uh, deified ancestors and they're divine energies. So many of them are tied directly to natural elements. So when we say Oba is a river, what we're saying is she is the river. She governs what the river water represents. She exists both in spirit as a physical presence. So her place in the pantheon, Oba is one of the Orishas connected to marriage and commitment. She's connected to emotional endurance, sacred feminine discipline. She's also associated with the royal lineage and sometimes described in a queen type of figure, hello, within the traditions surrounding Shango. So when enslaved Africans were taken from West Africa and they were carried to their Orishas was carried with them. So that's how Oba appears in Santeria and also Candomblé. So her name, her stories, and expressions may shift slightly, but her core energy remains the same. Oba didn't come from a story. She comes from land. She comes from water. She comes from lineage. She comes from experience. So she's rooted in a real place among real people within real spiritual systems. So when I speak of her, I want you to understand I am not just telling a myth. I am touching a lineage that existed before me and you. And if you want to know some of her offerings, hey, I will share that with you. Cooked foods, especially home prepared, because she loved to cook. Her offerings are never loud, they're never flashy, and they reflect modesty. They reflect sincerity. They reflect an emotional truth. Some of her cooked offerings may be foods made with intention, not rushed. So you can't rush her food. Like the Sunday meals and the holiday dinners, it takes effort. Stews, rice dishes, beans of that nature. Also eggplants, because they're strongly associated with her in many lineages. Um, red wine or dark wine represents kind of like the depth of emotion. Honey, used carefully, not for seduction purposes, but to sweeten and to soften the heart after pain. Copper items too with her, like coins, bracelets, small adornments, because nothing flashy. And then river water, if it's properly and respectfully collected. So leave an offering for her if you go and collect some river water. Okay. Um, roses, especially the deep pink or the red ones, basil, parsley, leafy greens. They are not for glamour. They're for her healing and her restoration. Just putting it out there. So when I give to Oba, you're not asking first. What you're saying is, I'm showing up in truth. I'm correcting myself. I'm honoring what I learned. That matters more than what you give her. It's what you say. So let me see if I can put that on there. I don't know if y'all gonna do that, but I'm just gonna, just in case. Just in case. And I'm gonna tell you something too. This is where people mess up with her. Oba's taboos are serious because they're centered around self-respect and they're centered around integrity. And so I'm going to give you these because it's important to know when you are dealing with these Orishas. Um, you can be white and deal with Orishas. They really want you to respect them. It's not like hoodoo. Okay. So do not approach her if your energy, I think I got hot. Hey, I'm perimenopausal. I don't want to hear shit. Do not approach her if your energy is are you're actively chasing someone who's rejecting you. So she's not good in love work. She's not gonna bring him back. She ain't gonna do that. Okay. So she's not somebody that I would do for that. She's not an Orisha for that. She's the Orisha for you, not the nigga. Also, if you're trying to win back somebody at the cost of yourself, she ain't the one you use for that. Or if you're in the mindset to make them choose me, that is the exact pattern she tries to teach you to break. No self-betrayal work, like do not do rituals while still overgiving, ignoring the red flags, performing for love, because Oba will not support self-abandonment disguised as devotion, and that's what a lot of people give. Also, another good one is no gossip with Oba and no emotional chaos around her space. So if you decide to set up an altar and that is what you want to do, you want to build a relationship with her because anybody can choose to deal with her and she will respectfully, as long as you respect her, as long as you really respect the Orishas, anybody can use them. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true. Because it's one thing to be crowned as something, and it's another if you're choosing to work with them. They don't have to choose to work with you back, but they're more open to it than hoodoo. Hoodoo is a closed practice. Orishas come from religion, and anyone can practice religion. Um, yes, Latanya, she wants you to choose you. Also, you have to keep her space quiet, so you can't have a bunch of kids and shit around it. It has to be clean and very intentional. There's no loud arguing, no energy like that, no mess, no chaos, because she's a withdrawn, and she's a dignified Orisha. Did you hear what I said? Very demure. Very demure. She's a dignified Orisha. And I'll explain a lot of this stuff at some point, I'm sure. Oh, and you have to respect body symbolism. So her story involves the ear. That's listening, that's discernment. So be mindful of what you're listening to. Remember, Oshun set up. Be mindful of who you take advice from. So working with her while ignoring your own intuition is misalignment and it ain't gonna work. And you do not treat her the way you treat Oshun. So you don't confuse their energies. See, Oshun is about attraction. She's about sweetness. She's about beauty, flow, beguiling. Oba is about boundaries. She's about truth. She's about dignity and emotional correction. So if you come to Oba expecting romantic magic, you will be redirected real fucking quickly. Because the proper way to approach this queen, when you sit with Oba's energy, your posture matters. See how I'm set up. You come with honesty, you come with accountability, you come with a willingness to change, not just emotion. And you can say something simple as, Oba Nana, I come to you in truth. I release the parts of me that abandon myself. I honor my dignity and I walk in alignment. And I will put that down here too. I hope y'all enjoying this. Oba doesn't respond to desperation either. She responds to correction. Okay. And for the record, she didn't lose him because she wasn't enough. You didn't lose that man because you weren't enough. You lost yourself before he ever had a chance to choose her properly. And some of you do the exact same thing. You're overgiving, you're over planning, you're overextending, you're over explaining. You're trying to earn a position that should be natural. And that is Oba's energy. That's her energy when it was out of alignment. Oh, you watched almost all my videos. Well, thank you. I got quite a few of them. Elena says it's not wrong to be chosen, though, right? No, it's not wrong to want to be chosen, as long as you want to be chosen based off being yourself and doing what you want, not what other people want. I'm 29, so I'm fine. I find myself wondering. This is the thing about that, and thank you for saying it. It is nothing wrong with wanting to be chosen, but you got to choose yourself first. You have to have boundaries about yourself. You have to learn what they are first. You have to have a self identity that's not based around somebody choosing you, because you got to choose yourself. That has to be first and foremost, baby. Because how can you teach a person how to respect you, how to treat you, if you tell them one thing and then do another? So you're not even creating a space. You're not even creating a space where they can see you, where they can get to know the real you, because now you're performing because you want that type of attention, right or wrong. So now it's being performative instead of you being yourself, and you're doing what you think they want you to do. So they never get to know who you are. And then you lose who you could have been because you're trying to make this person like you. So you're doing shit that you don't even normally do because you're trying to win somebody. But life ain't a competition. It's not a race. And really, it's not even I gotta be better than the next bitch. It's just you finding your space and you loving yourself. It's not a slight pick me behavior. It's a definite pick me behavior. You have to choose you first. You have to be confident where you are. I'm not the most beautifulest woman in the world. I'm not the prettiest girl in the world. I'm not the finest bitch in the world. I'm not none of that. I'm just me. So what I'm giving the world is just me. I don't have it all figured out. I am not perfect. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm just me. So I give y'all the opportunity to choose me because this is just me. I could go and wrap my hair. That ain't what I do all the time. Maybe sometimes depending on the conzo or depending on the ritual. But I'm just being me. And if you want people to really see you, you got to be you too. And you have to be you unapologetically. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be an asshole. I'm not saying that. But allow people the opportunity to know who you are. And then if they don't choose you, well, then they're not aligned with you. And that's okay too. Everybody don't have to like you. Everybody don't have to choose you. But are you choosing yourself? I would rather look in the mirror every day and I'm okay with how I look and how I show up for myself than to be performing for people to like me in hopes that they do, and abandoning who I really am to the core of me to satisfy somebody else who might not ever see me that way. I'm gonna give y'all some context. When I was married to Damon, I have no doubt that he loved me. I absolutely believe that he did. But I changed to fit him. I shrunk myself, I minimized myself because I didn't want to offend him. And so I stopped living up to the best potential of me for the sake of I don't want to make my partner feel some kind of way when in reality, I didn't have anything to do with that in the first place. How he feel about himself is how he felt about himself. I was literally married to a man who did not know me because whenever I would try to have conversations with him about me, he would cut me off, he would overtalk me, and he would turn it some kind of way and make it about him. Now, I don't say this to dog Damon. I'm just saying that was the truth. That was my truth. I would shrink myself and minimize myself all the time because if I spoke about one good thing that I did, he would be like, "Well, I'm not doing it and I'm not doing this and I'm sacrificing this for you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then it would every conversation, no matter what it was about, no matter how big or how small, it would turn into now I'm questioning myself because now I've upset him. And I don't even know how I upset him when I was stating how I felt about something. And then when I would tell him how I felt about anything, if it did not align with what he wanted to hear, that became a problem too. So I learned how to be quiet. I started checking out. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it because I know what type of nigga I got. I'm not gonna even worry about that. I'm gonna focus on my business. I'm gonna focus on helping other people. But I was abandoning myself. And how can I tell y'all not to abandon yourself when I was abandoning myself? That wasn't real. And that wasn't fair to me. I realized that everything that we talked about was the past. It was nothing present. It was nothing current because I learned I couldn't share that part of me with him. I couldn't share my evolution with him. I couldn't share my growth with him because me saying how I evolved or me saying how I've grown was a dig at how he hasn't changed. Even when that's not what I was doing. I could simply say, "Oh my God, I got in 2024, maybe 2025, I got this award. Um, I got an award, MLD Holistic Healer, my store. I got an award for uh, being a great herbalist and helping people and teaching them how to infuse herbs. And they gave me an award. Um, and I was so excited about this award. And I called to tell him. I sent him a picture of it. He never responded to the picture. And then I called him. And I was so excited, y'all. I was so proud of this award because I felt seen. And I called him and I said, "Did you get the picture?" And he said, "Yeah, I seen it." It was just like that. And I was like, "What do you think?" He said, "I don't think nothing." I said, "Damon, they gave me an award about my store and they gave me an award about me." And he was like, "That ain't even shit. I'm out here driving these trucks. I'm out here lifting this stuff on these pallets. I'm out here on the road 12, 13 hours a day." And I was just like, okay, okay. Um, I literally said, "I apologize for bothering you. Please continue to go on about your day." Yeah, because you ain't even asked me what I was doing and how was my day. And I said, I'm sorry. How's your day? And so then I stopped talking about me and I just made it 100% about him. And then I swear to God, he got this good boy kink. And so everything was all right as long as I was saying, good job, Damon. You're doing great, Damon. This is great, Damon. Look at you, Damon. Oh, you worked 12 hours today? Oh, wow. And you drove, Damon. And he never asked me how was my day or how I was doing. But he said he loved me. He didn't cheat on me. But to weaponize the business that have created so many opportunities for our family, I had abandoned myself, all for the sake of peace. But there was never no peace. I would come home from work, from the store. I've been working all day. And he would ask me if he was home, you ain't cooking nothing today? Even though he's been home all day. And I'd be like, well, where were you doing? You ain't even been doing shit all day but talking to people on the phone and turning over some cards. You didn't even walk in this motherfucker, give me a hug. You didn't even walk in this motherfucker and do this. You didn't even walk in here. You just come in here talking about you tired. You've been sitting on your ass all day. When I go to work, when I drive trucks, when I have to unload the truck. So I learned don't tell him anything. And the great thing is that he never asked. Imagine. So I stopped talking. I stopped sharing. I stopped explaining. I just let it be because all I was just going to focus on was my businesses and helping people and making some money because I'm great at that. I'm providing for his family, his kids, his mama, his brothers, his father. I paid for their funeral, for his father's funeral. None of them offered me a dime. They did not even have this man in insurance. And the only thank you that I got was from his mother when she said, I'll just be glad when all of this is over with. Yeah. So, no, he didn't cheat on me. He didn't. But he sure emotionally, he would if I say, Damon, and I'm crying and I'm upset because he's not doing something, he would then manipulate, flip the situation and be like, see, you just want attention. You just want to complain. I don't even know what you're tired about. You don't even be doing nothing. What you making oils? You making some candles? What, that you prayed over something an hour? That ain't even nothing. And then when I would tell people, they would say, but he's a good man. You know how you be tripping. And I would say, well, maybe I am tripping. And then it would hear, you think you got all of this money, you think you big money, you think you better than me. And I'd be like, no, Damon, I don't think I'm better than you. Yes, you do. So now I'm trying to fix it because I don't want him to think that I'm better than him. Everything, every painful thing I ever told him about my life, we would get into an argument about something, or we would have a discussion about something, and he would flip it. He would flip it, and he would weaponize it, and he would hurt me with it. I remember, back in 2015, they thought that I had lupus, and so they had been giving me medicine, to flush my system out, and my hair fell out, and he was crying like it was his hair that fell out. And let's just say he could cry at the drop of a hat. Oh my God, he could turn it on. And he was like, "I'm gonna be there for you. Don't worry about it." And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed and I'm so sad because I'm losing my hair. He goes, "I hear the clippers," and he cuts my hair and he goes, "Let's go to Walmart. Let's get you some hair dye. We're gonna dye it blonde. You still look beautiful." And I was like, he sees me. So I get better. I don't wind up having lupus. And I started doing better. I started working out. Um, I started doing healing work on myself, and I did not have lupus. We get into an argument, and what he says to me, and I'm not going to cry. What he says to me, though, he says, "That's why you're, I'm older than you. You're younger than me, but you stay sicker than me." That's what he said to me. And I said, "Damon, you took care of me." "Yeah, yeah. And you didn't even say thank you." But I did say thank you. I appreciated everything that you did for me during that time. "Yeah, I was the reason why your hair grew back." No, it's because I started taking care of myself, and my hair is gonna naturally grow back unless I have some type of issue where your hair won't grow. See what I'm saying? I don't get no credit for nothing. No, Damon, I'm not. No, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying that at all. You know what? Next time you get sick, take care of yourself because I see how ungrateful you are. Damon, I'm not trying to be ungrateful. All you try to do is emasculate me and you think that you better than me. Damon, I 100% do not think that I'm better than you. I am not trying to emasculate you. Yes, you do. That's all you do. That's what my brothers and them tell me. Everybody say that to me. How are they even knowing anything that's going on in the house unless you tell them? So what are you telling them to make them see me in that way? I'm not telling them nothing. It's how you act, and everybody can see that. Damon, okay, let me work on it. "Yeah, you need to be in therapy. It's something wrong with you." You know what? You might be right. I need to get in therapy. Let me work on it. So I started going to therapy, and I would try to discuss the things that I've learned in my therapy with him, and he would not listen. He said, "There's nothing wrong with me. I don't need therapy. You do. You know, it's because everybody left you. Your mama didn't want you and stuff like this. So you need to be in therapy." And then I remember one particular time I was having a conversation with him in front of somebody, and I said, "Damon, are you listening to me?" He said, "I don't listen to you. Call your therapist." Well, let me make some more appointments and let me continue my therapy. Let me continue it because I don't want to be like that. I want to be okay. What am I doing? What am I? Let me get better. Let me let me do this better. Let me be better. Let me continue to work on myself. So I did. I gave my ear, I gave my nose, I gave my hands, I gave my feet, I gave every part of me. I did. I gave my heart, I gave my soul. When I divorced him, he got vehicles, he got money, vehicles that he didn't pay for. I did. I'm the one in the divorce that had to give up all of this stuff. People will make comments. I don't post them, but people make comments and said, I waited until he helped me build my name and my brand, and then I left him for another nigga. When that absolutely was not true. That Yukon that I bought, that was my Yukon that I bought because I didn't want to put supplies in my Mercedes. And he had went and got a dually, was not paying the car note on the dually, and they picked it up. And he didn't have a vehicle, and I felt bad for him. And I gave him my Yukon when it's the same Yukon that he didn't even want in the first place and didn't even want me to get it. And in the divorce, I gave it to him. I was always saving him. He did not help me build shit. If it was left up to him, if I'm being honest, he didn't even want me to be Magickal Lady Duchess anymore. He didn't want me to have a store. He didn't want me to have an online store. He didn't want me making videos anymore. He was literally like, fuck that shit. But I can't say fuck that shit. People are listening to me. People, so you choosing that over me? No, Damon, I'm not choosing that. You got other businesses. They ain't got nothing to do with that. You ain't got to do that shit no more. Well, Damon, I love doing this. I love, fuck it. I won't, I bet I won't help you at your store no more. Okay. So instead of me fighting with that, Ree came home and Ree said, how can I help you? What do you need help with? What's going on with you? And so I told him. And he was like, I'll help you. And he did. Now, I don't say all of this to bash. I don't say all of this to bash Damon because I do not hate him. I just hate the version of myself that I became being married to him because I overgave him everything. If it was left up to him, I would have never lost all this weight because he didn't want me to have the surgery. He said all I need to do is just walk. Okay. Um, I had gained all that weight, taking steroids and everything else after I had COVID, and I had got pregnant at 42, and they had me on 4 different type of blood pressure medications trying to get my blood pressure down so they could take the babies that had died inside of me out. This is during the time when Roe versus Wade, so the hospital was not going to help an assisted abortion because that's what a DNC is considered. If you don't believe any of this, look it up. Look it up. And so them giving me all that blood pressure medication and stuff like that, I wind up one of my kidneys wind up almost failing. And so now I have kidney disease because of that, the onset of that. And I remember being in a room losing my babies. And he started arguing with me in the room, losing my babies with the IV, blood pressure high as hell. And he stormed out the room, slammed the door, hospital door, and then came back in and says, well, if we break up, can I still keep my cars? Or the time we got into it, and I said, "Well, Damon, if this doesn't work out, the blessing is that you get to go back home. You go home to your mama." And he said, "Well, at least I got one to go back to." And I'm like, "Damon, do you realize are you talking about my mom that died? Or are you talking about my mother that I don't have a relationship with?" Because for the record, I choose to be no contact with her. But if I chose to contact my mother, she would not talk to me. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Because you always talk about mom. I'm like, I'm not always talking about your mom. Or how he would pull all his clothes out the closet, call people to come, help him move because he couldn't win an argument with me or he couldn't argue with me. And so he would always threaten to leave, knowing that I had really serious abandonment issues. And so he weaponized him leaving me and that I didn't have a relationship with my family. That's what he did. And I realized for the sake of my peace, the sake of me continuing this business, the sake of me being the person that I was going to be, I was never going to heal being in that situation. I couldn't. He wasn't going to let me. Damon would go on and on and on and on with me until I cried. He would not stop, y'all, until I started crying. And then when I would cry, then he would go, "Come here, I'm so sorry. Come here, I'm sorry. Oh man, oh, you got me crying. I'm crying too. I hate to see you crying. See, I'm crying too." That's what he did to me. Therapy saved my life. He would constantly want to break me so he could be the only thing that could fix me. That's a different level of emotional abuse. I don't care what nobody have to say. That was a different level of emotional abuse. He weaponized every fucking thing. It wasn't until I really got into therapy and really started doing the work and started talking to people because I didn't feel like all the people that I had around me were his people. So if I go and I tell them stuff, I got to worry about them telling him, or they're not going to ever say anything against him because those are his people. And I thought that because I already have the reputation. I could be a bitch, I can be that, and I'm a terrorist, and I'm this, and I'm that. And I would just be like, well, they gotta be me. You the reason why you ain't got no friends. You the reason why I got friends. I got family. Everybody love me. And I would be like, well, you know what? Maybe it is something wrong with me. He would say the reason why you're so successful at MLD is because the kid is so fucked up. And I would go, I am fucked up. And I would say, well, I'm trying to be better. I'm being better, Damon. What are you talking about? You're not being better. You're just being better for them other people, the people that don't know you. But I know you. I saved you. I'm really okay. I'm gonna tell you, I'm in such a great space and I have such great peace. And I allowed myself to be loved. And I'm not making up anything. I'm not trying to paint him in a bad light at all. I am just telling what happened. Because a lot of people do be asking, and I'm gonna say this, when I was talking about Oba Nana, I promise you this was not in my script to talk about this. So um maybe it was meant to, but this wasn't, I did not plan on this. Um, as a matter of fact, I just haven't talked about what happened in my divorce or why I got divorced at all. I just let people say what they were going to say about me because everybody talked about me. Everybody said that I had been fucking my current husband now. I had not. We had not been fucking. We was friends. When I literally say that he was my friend, I really, really mean it. He was my friend. And so maybe Oba Nana wanted me to tell it because she wants you to be truthful. She wants you to be honest. And she wants you to choose yourself. I was her. And a lot of y'all are her right now. I was tired. It was so bad, y'all, that when I did leave, if I'm being extremely transparent, when I did leave, I was scared. Me, big old bad MLD. I was afraid. And I was in fear of what my future looked like because when I left him, he seems to think, and a lot of people seem to think, that this was planned and that I was planning to be with Ree when in fact we had never even had that conversation. Um, I have money, but I don't have good credit. Why don't I have good credit? Because I co-signed for his kids' apartments. I co-signed for them to have cars, and they let all of them go back. They wrecked them, never told me, got evictions. So my credit was so bad. So when I said that I was going to leave, I felt like I couldn't leave because I was going to have to pay so much money. So I tell Ree, which is my current husband now, I tell him, and I was like, I got all this money. And so I'm just going to have to buy a house. I'm just going to probably have to buy it cash or something. Right. And he said, I'll buy you a house. And I said, what? He said, I'll buy you a house. And at the end of it, he said, we'll put your name on the deed. So your name is on it, but I'll buy you a house. If you really want to leave, because he didn't think that I was going to leave because I had been saying I was going to leave and I didn't. He said, if you really want to leave, I'll buy you a house. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he was like, no, I'll buy you a house. Tell me what I got to do. You know everybody. And I was like, yeah, I do. I have a real estate agent. It's actually one of my best friends. And I called her and she was like, okay, well, get me Ree's information. Let's go for it. So we did. And they gave us a pre-approval. And we went to go look for a house. And he said, you pick the house. You get it. And so I decided on a new build from the ground up. No one's ever lived in it but us. 3-car garage sitting on a quarter-acre of land. And I moved. I did not announce that I was leaving him. I did not tell him I was leaving. I just left. The house closed on May 29th of 2025. And I moved out June 3rd. My divorce became final July 2nd. Because keep in mind, we were living together and the divorce was filed. And I moved into my house, and we still wasn't Ree and I still wasn't together. We didn't even entertain that until after my divorce had became final, and he surprised me with it. So I don't know what people be thinking, but they have no clue. They absolutely have no clue. I know how it looks on the outside. I know. And many people will judge it and they'll look at it from the outside. Yeah, I was hurting, and he was hurting me. He was hurting me. And the only thing that saved me was my therapy. I remember he told me, "Why don't I just shut the fuck up and call my therapist Monday?" How is that okay for your husband to talk to you like that? And he's upset because I caught him lying. He lied to me in my face for 4 days straight. I knew that he was lying. Why don't you just let it go? People lie. People lie all the time. And I was like, no, Damon, people don't lie all the time. Well, everybody ain't good at two shoes like you. I'm not trying to be goody two shoes like you. Or like what you think that I'm saying. You just think that you the moral princess. I don't think that I'm the moral princess. I don't think any of that. I'm just trying to be right. I will tell you, the moment I moved out of that house and I started staying in my own home, um, name on the deed and everything. And I woke up and I didn't feel that pressure. I didn't feel that weightiness. I didn't feel that heaviness that I normally feel when I wake up all the time. And I realized I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know how not to feel the heaviness. And so I wake up one morning and I tell Reed, my current husband, and I said, I don't know how to be happy, but I know I don't want to project it onto you. And he said, well, baby, why don't you consider um, going back to therapy so you can talk about it? And I said, yeah, I should do that. So I did. And it was the best decision I could have ever made. And I realized that I was not betraying myself by having standards, by having a voice, and having my own boundaries. I teach boundaries, but I wasn't implementing that in my own life. I can be very clear and say that. And I would be on y'all ass about shit. And I would be on your ass because I didn't want y'all to be like me. People want to emulate you, but they don't know the shit that it takes to be here. You have no clue what I went through to get here. And that's why I am not going to feel bad about my happiness. I am not going to be upset because people have opinions about my life now. I do got a glow, bitch. I do feel great about myself every day, bitch. I do. And I am going to say this, and I mean it. I do have a husband that is quite phenomenal. He consistently asks me how I'm doing throughout the run of a day. He consistently makes it clear, very clear, that I'm his priority. He said to me the other day, I was talking about his mom, and I was like, y'all need to, work it out. And he said, baby, don't do that. He said, we're good where we are. He said, just let me love you. You became my purpose. Bitch, I ain't never been nobody purpose before. I ain't never been nobody purpose before. And all of a sudden, he said to me, I don't need you to over explain to me. I'm not Damon. I don't need you to overextend for me. I'm not Damon. Baby, I heard you the first time. You don't have to keep explaining it, baby. And when he's quiet, because he's typically kind of quiet too. And I was like, am I doing something wrong? Because I'm so used to that. He said, baby, if I have something to say, I'll say it. I don't have anything to say right now. I'm not even thinking about nothing. If there's a problem, I know how to communicate that there's a problem. If I see a shift in you, I know how to communicate and ask what's wrong. Don't assume that with me, baby. And the patience and the consideration and just the compassion that he shows me. And sometimes he has to protect me from myself when I get in my own head about stuff. And when I have therapy sessions, because I'm a firm believer in it, who heals the healer, right? He will literally say, did you have a good session? And I go, well, yeah, I did. And I was like, Ree, do you like me? He said, I absolutely like you. You're my best friend. And when I say, do you love me? He said, baby, I love you. I show you every day. He can tell when I'm having a moment, when I'm manic, when I'm in my head about things, because he'll start making me laugh to pull me out. So I'm never in a dark place. I really feel like Damon tried to kill me. I really feel like that. I legit don't know where I would have been if Reed would not have came back in my life the way that he did. Because it wasn't meant to, oh, we're gonna fuck around and we're gonna be together. It wasn't like that. Like he literally legit gave me a friendship. But I feel like everything that was good in me, that I was building, that I was forming, I feel like all he wanted to do was just take it away from me. And so it made me really cautious of men. And then it took for Ree to say, I didn't do that to you. And that's not okay for you to project it onto me. Okay. So when I wake up in the morning, he asks me, you want some coffee? Are you okay? I've already looked at your schedule. You got a heavy load today. Do you want to prepare you some food so that you can have some snacks? Do I need to order you something to eat? He is a Capricorn, December 31st. He is a Capricorn. Damon is a Capricorn. And I'm always like, or if I've had a long day, he'll say, baby, you want me to bring you some bath water? You've done enough. Close the laptop. Come from behind the desk. You've done enough. Whereas Damon would let me work to 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, wouldn't say shit. So I say all of that to say this. Sometimes, no, all the time, you got to choose you. You have to choose you. You have to choose you. Because I do not overgive. I do not over explain. I do not even have to have, I don't overdo anything in my marriage. I literally just be. I don't have to work at it. I don't have to do that. I just be. And that's the energy that I want to give off. I worked very hard, y'all, to be here. I had to give up a lot, but I've gained so much more. The money, the cars, that $80,000 motorcycle, because I had to give him a Harley Davidson that is in my name. I paid for. He made the last 4 payments and literally hit me up saying, I finally paid it off. You ain't pay off shit. But okay. And all he can really tell people is how I left him. Oh, he just came home and I just left. As if there was not a buildup as to why I left. Damon is just stuck on that I left him. He always says, I love you. I loved you past the money. I loved you when you didn't have no money. If my love for you wasn't based off the money. Well, you sure took it. He sit up and tell how I left him and I didn't even tell him nothing. I filed for divorce. I told you to get out. And you said you weren't gonna leave. You said that was your house too. He tells people I could never be with her again. The way she did me, the way she left me, I thought she would never leave. You know that's what they think, right? I thought we was doing better because I got quiet. I stopped arguing, I stopped begging, I stopped pleading, I stopped crying. Everything became about Everything became about him. It was always about him. It was never about me. He never saw me. He never saw me. He never asked about me. It was always about him or his brothers or him fixing on a fucking car. I don't give a shit. I raised his granddaughter from 18 months to 7 years old. He literally said to me one time, "You weaponize you being sickly to manipulate me into staying. You think I wanna be sick? You think I wanna have kidney disease? You think that? And you think I want to manipulate you into staying with me? You just doing it for attention." No, I one of my kidneys, like, legit, it does not work at 100%. Like, this is real. Like, you're crazy. I'm not crazy. And he could cry. My God. He could cry, and I'm talking about 1990 arms, R&B 1990 videos where they crying and stuff. He could do that, and then flip, flip the narrative, flip his emotions. He could flip it so fucking fast. I never seen nothing like it. He could go from crying to 2 minutes later, now he's mad because the crying didn't get him the response that he thought that it was gonna get him. And I just got tired. I just got so tired. Oh my God, I got tired. Ugh. And I just got quiet. I didn't wanna talk about nothing no more. I didn't. I'm just gonna focus on some more shit. I don't want to do this no more. And he thought that we were good. He told everybody he can't believe that I left him because we was doing so good. And I'm talking about he was crying. I'm trying to do everything I can to make you love me. I'm trying. And he's screaming and crying. And I'm just sitting there like this. Damon, please stop doing it. Damon, please stop talking to me like that. Damon, please stop raising your voice at me. I'm not raising my voice at you. Damon, please stop. No, you need to hear me. You're not listening. Damon, I do hear you. I am listening to you. I don't know what you want me to say. See how you ignore me? See how I have to do this? See how I have to act for you to. And I just be like, I'm going to the store. I'm going to go to the store and work. And I think that's why I didn't want the store anymore because it just reminded me, or it reminded me of a place that I would run away to. And I just didn't want that experience anymore. He would knock glasses off the table full of water. He would punch holes in the wall. Um, and then would call me and say, "Oh, hey, baby, I fixed the wall." And I was supposed to say, "Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing that." He would always say that I said stuff that I didn't say. And then when I say, Damon, I didn't say that, he was like, well, that's what you meant. No, that's not what I meant. I say what I mean. No, that's what you likely said. That's what you I'll be like, God damn. And let me be very clear. I was talking to my therapist, and I did start talking to Mr. Gemini, my husband. And I would tell him, and then one day he said, when are you gonna stop this bullshit? When are you gonna leave? This is not even the woman that I know. This ain't the woman that was married to me. What happened? And I was like, I don't know what happened to her. He was like, you need to find her again. He said, because at this point it's unattractive. Girl, he didn't have to clock me up. He didn't have to clock my tea like that, but he did. And I needed to hear that. He never put his hands on me, but he didn't have to. This nigga over 6 feet, big ass nigga. I'm only 5'2". And all of that flailing and the big old arms and I it was just always this emotional shit. I would always I just be wanting to run the fuck away. That's why I was never at home. I was always traveling. I was always gone. I just I never met a man I feel like they wanted me to suffer. I never met a man that I felt like they wanted me to suffer. And then my businesses started to take hits because of where I was emotionally. And I'm not gonna fuck up my money. I'm not gonna fuck up my money for nobody. So I had to get the fuck together. Oh, this is Jasmine Gardens. Y'all go to her TikTok and y'all go to her Instagram. Um, but it was a lot. And I didn't want to be fake and I didn't want to do that. Not no more. And I just didn't want to hurt anymore like that. Because I had literally took myself and had put myself in this box, and I just set it aside, and I was like, I'm just gonna focus on my businesses. But then when that stuff started affecting this stuff, wait a minute now, bitch. This affecting the money because now I'm realizing I don't want to do nothing. I just want to lay down. I just want to sleep. I don't want to focus. I don't want to. That was depression, and we not doing it. Ain't no nigga worth that. I was like, let me snap the fuck up out of this. Hold on, bitch. Hold the fuck up. So I need you to ask yourself, where have I cut off parts of myself to be loved? See, I know when I did. When I met Damon, I was going through stuff. I had just lost Riri. He had went to, he had went to prison for me, some shit I did. He took the time for it. My father had just passed, and I also lost my son I was pregnant with. This all happened within 6 months, and then I met Damon. So I trauma bonded with Damon. Damon came out being the good guy. I told everything Damon up front, and he was like, I'll be there for you. I'll help you. No, he literally took every fucking thing and weaponized it. So where have you cut off parts of yourself to be loved? Was it your standards? Was it your voice? Was it your boundaries? Because not all self-betrayal is loud. Sometimes self-betrayal is real quiet. And most times it's going to look like, I'll just deal with it. I'll just deal with it. It's all right. It could be like this. It's not like that because you're trying to rationalize that feeling. I did it. But no, that's the moment you just left yourself. After that moment, Oba stopped chasing. I stopped chasing. I did not beg him to see me anymore. I did not beg him to see me, to feel me, to hear me. I did not beg him to understand my point because he misunderstood me on purpose. She became a river. So did I. I began to flow when I left him. And I didn't leave him for another nigga. I don't know why people think that, but I did not leave him for another nigga. I left him for me. I was not, I wanted the fuckery. Oh my God, today. But I didn't leave him for that. See, rivers don't ask to be chosen. They just flow in their own direction. And what becomes to them, it just comes naturally. So how do you apply this? Right? I stopped asking, how do I keep this working? How do I make this work? And I just literally started asking, why do I feel, or why did I feel like I had to lose myself to be kept? Why did I feel like I had to lose myself to be kept? That's all that played in my mind. And I remember asking my therapist, and my therapist is on YouTube now. Let me tell you, y'all go by and say hello to her. Because I normally don't just mention her, but I asked her if I could at some point, and she said yes. Um, Good. It is called It Beyond Therapy 4964. That's her. That's her page. She's not big. She don't have a whole bunch of followers. She's not into spiritual community like that per se. She ain't into all of this. She's not a root worker. She's a real legit therapist. She's a counselor. She take insurance. But her it's I'm gonna put it in the thing. I don't gatekeep either. I would love to life coach y'all. Absolutely. But this has been my therapist for 6 years. So she has really been there for me. And I would always ask her, because a therapist won't tell you certain things that a life coach will. But I would always say, when is it time for me to leave? And she would always say, you'll know. You'll know. And when that day happened, and it's okay to have a therapist and a life coach too. So I did the work. So this is a question. Why did I feel like I had to lose myself to be kept? I started saying this to myself, and you guys should say it to you because I'm big on affirmations. I return to myself. I do not trade pieces of who I am for love. What is aligned with me will honor me fully. I return to myself. Every day I say this. I return to myself fully, completely, wholly. I do not trade pieces of who I am for love, and who is aligned with me will honor me fully just as I am. I'm gonna get it for y'all too. Yeah. So listen, if this message hits you, it's because you're in a season where you're always being asked to come back to yourself, but you keep not honoring that. And that process is not always easy to be done alone. I didn't do it alone. But if you're ready to break these patterns, I understand your emotional behavior. And if you want to rebuild your standards the right way, then I want you to work with me directly. You can book a conversation, you can book a reading, you can go to my website, magicalLadyDuchess.com. And if you need immediate support, I do have emergency consultations. They are a little bit more expensive, but do not wait until you lose yourself. Fix it now. Work on it now. Stop sitting on it because you don't have the help or you just don't think that you can figure it out, because you can. It's just sometimes you can't do it by yourself. Most times you really can't. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And in the comments, I want you to answer this. Where did I abandon myself? I want you to answer me. If you watch this video to the end, I know it's long. I want you to answer that. Where did I abandon myself? Because awareness is actually your first step. But correction is where your power come back. And I will see you guys in the next teaching. Many blessings to you. Thank everybody for all the donations. But you wonder why I changed. And Oba Nana, she was a lesson for everybody. We've all been her. And you got to continue to be her. Stop trying to over-explain. Stop trying to overdo shit. And just be, bitch. Just be. And I will help you. You do not have to do it alone. I love you guys. I speak light, love, and many blessings to you all. Ashe. Talk to y'all later.